Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Chaffee. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, Long Island's largest rock salt provider and a provider of everything you need to get you through this winter. 631 756 1125. They're at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, just north of the Southern State Parkway. We have a so-so day, I guess, is the best way to describe it. There is a weather front that's coming through, and we have some patchy clouds. Some areas, you notice there are some breaks in between these bands of clouds, so some spots getting some sunshine. And there's some very light precipitation that is showing up on the radar in a couple of places. Nothing really to get too overly excited about. We do have this front that is going to pass through. We are going to see another front come through on Thursday, and that is going to be setting up some of the energy that is coming in. You see that big swirl there that's down off Southern California. That's going to be moving inland, and this rather active pattern that we have continues to remain very busy. The Canadian satellite loop having a bit of a tough time loading today, but we do see shortwave troughs that are coming down in the north that are also part of the equation. And here's the radar as of late this morning. Just a couple of light rain showers in one of those bands running from western Massachusetts down into the eastern part of northern New Jersey. That'll be moving eastward. A lot of this precipitation is actually either drying up or not really reaching the ground. And there's the weather front involved. See if we can get here's the latest map now. We just updated it, and that front is moving into western Pennsylvania, moving right along. Just a little bit of a southwest flow ahead of it, so that should allow temperatures to warm up a bit today as we move our way up through the 40s. Now, we do have a storm system for the latter part of this week for primarily New Year's Day. There'll be a setup that'll go on New Year's Eve, but it's going to be overnight and then on New Year's Day that we're going to be dealing with precipitation. It's going to be mostly rain in many areas, and the weather prediction folks talking about maybe on the order of 1.5 inches or more falling from southern New England to back west across Pennsylvania. And then you get into some big amounts in the Tennessee Valley down into the Gulf states, some 3-inch plus amounts there and some 3 and 5-inch plus amounts showing up in parts of Arkansas and southeastern Missouri. I think we're going to probably see some severe weather out of this particular system as it moves on to the east. So we're going to take you through a couple of the weather models. We've got the newest NAM model that is in. We'll start with that, and we'll take you through the rest of today and going into tomorrow and Wednesday. So here's our system that is passing that cold front. There it is, and we'll move it. Actually, it just appears now. Hang on, just got to make sure I got the right model up. There we go. Now we've got the new NAM up, the new GFS, which hasn't started out yet. But again, you see not much in the way of precip. A little bit of lake effect snow action gets underway tonight in parts of upstate New York and western Pennsylvania down into West Virginia. We are going to turn colder for Tuesday and for Wednesday. It's going to be 30s by day, 20s by night, maybe teens and cold spots. That high goes out underneath us, so our weather's good through Wednesday. Here comes the first front for Thursday. Again, not a whole lot with it. You see a little bit, a narrow band of snow there across northwest PA into the Catskills that just falls apart. A couple of rain showers otherwise. And then we wait. Low pressure is going to be developing here in Louisiana. We have another high that's going to be going by to our north. But this particular storm is going to go up the west side of the Appalachians. And it is going to be different from what we had last week on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm not foreseeing the big wind event like we had with that particular storm. So the GFS, here's your front, goes by. Now here's your storm that for Thursday into Thursday night. This is at 1 a.m. Friday morning, so the new year would have arrived. The one issue that I would be cautious about would be during the early morning hours on Friday and into the first part of the day, Friday, across Pennsylvania, and eventually also into the interior areas of upstate New York, maybe even into northwest New Jersey. There could be some freezing rain and maybe a little bit of sleet with this, because that high does have some colder air in it. And while the upper levels of the atmosphere are going to be warm, the lower levels may actually get borderline cold in some places. So we're going to be talking about this later on today, and of course tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show, which is at 7:30. So that low, you see it there in southern Illinois, moves to southern Michigan and eventually on up into Canada. That might be a little overzealous. It may wind up being a little weaker and perhaps a little bit further to the south. I think the big problem for our area will be the warm front that's going to be to our south on Friday, and whether that front winds up getting through here. We've got the cold front there and a warm front that extends out to the south of us. And we could be stuck with that warm front south of us through all of this, which means it's going to be very raw and chilly and a cold soaking rain into Friday night. And then the weekend, we should see improvement. The one thing I'm going to keep an eye on, and a couple of the models have been showing this on and off over the last week or so, the bottom front part of this front is going to stall, and there will be a low that develops on that front. At the moment, it looks like it should pass by to our south, but we've seen this before in the last couple of months, where they start looking like they're going to be going to our south, and then we start seeing models creeping these systems further and further north. So on the whole, really, outside of the fact that if you get a sprinkle today or a shower, you're in good shape, and we'll be dry into Thursday, and then we start to go downhill beyond that for Thursday night, New Year's Eve, and for New Year's Day. But again, I want to emphasize this is not going to be, in terms of the wind anyway, it's not going to be like we saw on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and we are going to have to throw in the possibility of some freezing rain inland. So there you have it. Weather in 5, brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, Long Island's largest rock salt provider, and a provider of everything you need when it comes to getting winter storms cleaned up. 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, 631-756-1125, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. The Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time, and we'll talk short, medium, and long range. So be sure to join us.